Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the meeting this morning. Most of us are here. We have two public forums, and we have an apology from Jane Sainsbury and also Caleb Exel. So, if someone would like to make those apologies. Thank you, Russell. Seconder. Thanks, Kevin. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Is there any notification of urgent business? Any declarations of interest? Yeah, right. Can I have confirmation of the minutes for 28th of June, please? Jane, seconded. Karen, all those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Yes, carried. We'll now move on to the public forum. So welcome Angela Thompson. Now, Angela, did you want to sit down? You're welcome to sit down over by the microphone.
I bought copies for yourselves, and also I just want to find my notes for your writing. I leave that.
Yeah.
You've got. Have you got your copy?
Yeah, we've had copies. Yeah. Thank you, Angela. So yeah, just you're here representing the church, so let us know what you're up to.
Thank you, well, your worship in there and council members. Thank you so much for having me on board this morning. I appreciate that we have to speak quickly, hence having given you one of these so that you can think about it after I've gone. I expect no response from this morning, just to give you the details. St Mark's Restoration Church has planned an event in the Te Araha domain on Saturday, the 28th of October, from 10 to 4 p.m. This is to celebrate the 97th anniversary of St Mark's Church building being dedicated as a peace memorial on the 24th of October 1926. Although it is, excuse me, I will have to say. I had a fall and it's not good. Sorry about that. Sorry to hear that. Although it is primarily to raise funds for the strengthening and restoring the church building, this will be a day to remember those from this area who lost in World War I, their members and the conflicts that were happening. This is set to be a huge event with visitors and performers coming from out of town. The program is designed to be entertaining for all ages and will be a fun-filled day. There will be stalls, games, music, and continuous entertainment, including a war piece reenactment from the army. There will also be a masquerade ball at the Te Araha RSA in the evening. This is a community event, and groups from any and every organisation are being asked to participate in one way or another. We're a small, older group and will require help from the community. We hope the council will support us by allowing free use of the domain. We would also like an assurance that the site of the old skating rink building will be cleaned up so as to be less unsightly and the area next to the art centre made usable. Following the removal of the windbreak trees, there is now damage to the grassy area by the art centre building and an ugly view of the back of future Te Araha and the backyard of the motel. And we will be having television there to be able to see everything that's going on. We would also like to see the berm outside St Mark's Church tidied up after the tree fall several weeks ago. It is not a good look at the moment. There will be dignitaries visiting the area, so it's important for the town to have a good image. As a tourist attraction, the domain needs to be seen at its very best on the day, and as a future tourist attraction, so does the church building. We would also be very grateful for any man or woman power that could volunteer to help with setting up and dismantling on the day. People will also be needed for security and safety. For 97 years, the people of St Mark's Parish have borne the responsibility of the upkeep of the building as a peace memorial, with its dedication stained glass windows and memorial plaques. This aspect has long been overlooked. As well as a venue for Christian worship, the building is the home of the 300-year-old Queen Anne commissioned organ, which in itself is priceless artifact and will be draw card for tourists. It is time for the community to take responsibility and to share in the upkeep of the historical icon. As a peace memorial, it should be utilised with the war memorials and included in Anzac Day services, and thus it would be a trio of memories that would be unique. Perhaps if that block was renamed Memorial Lane, for instance, it would discourage the nefarious activities that take place there at the moment. As a peace memorial, it commemorates the lives of those who were lost in overseas conflicts. For the survivors, it was an acknowledgement of peace being reached. Peace is the only thing that the whole world wants. Let us be the leaders, not the lookers on, and celebrate this anniversary. We have a chance to put Tierra further on the map as a destination. The Gone movie has gone, but there is much to see and enjoy in our town if the community lets it happen. Support, participation and contributions towards the grandeur of the day is being requested by the community. Bookings for stalls will be made early. If you know people who have lived in the town or have any connection via family, need to be contacted. Old photos could be displayed in our bust corner, which is aimed at people sharing memories. And I will conclude this very quickly, which I hope this is on behalf of June Watson, who at nearly 86 is teaming our lead. Our ages go from 60 to 86. So you're looking at a load of old farts, quite frankly. I will just add a few closing words. Our small group of fundraisers, ages range from late 60s to 86. Vestra's oldest member is 90. Most are long-time residents, having been married there, having farewelled their loved ones, having celebrated organ concerts and fellowships, holding the various groups to benefit those in need, both here and overseas. They have supported Te Araha voluntary for years. Everything we do in our small group, we do through love and passion, taking nothing for expenses for our efforts from money we have raised to date, covering our own expenses, which in travel has taken us down to Wellington to the NZDF, successfully having confirmation of the army attendance. We need you to understand this being a listed building cannot be demolished. Council too has a responsibility for this building and should be proud to have their town showcasing a peace memorial building which houses the only organ from 10 in the world, which commissioned by Queen Anne and survived the Great Fire of London, in which the remaining 9 were destroyed. It would be to the advantage of you all to use our friend Google and check up on the various documentaries of the church and the organ, as it would give you a clear insight as to the importance of this project, which we have taken on board. With all respect, I would like to point out that your community voted you into council. Some of us only by seeing name, not really knowing you, and only your write-ups, which were given when promoting yourselves. But you are indeed supported by us and should be working for us. You are answerable to those of us who gave you the opportunity of where you are today. Your future plans, and I emphasize future, for the domain leaves much to be desired. Your commitment to putting 18 million toward the high cost of the extension plan again is incredible. St Mark's highest amount is 3 million, and that is not in the future, it is now, and it cannot be reached. And if it cannot be reached, what are you as a council going to do with a heap of bricks and a brass plaque? It is a disgrace for you to sit back and watch us olds holding raffles, garage sales, and holding this celebration of 97 years since it was first dedicated as the Peace Memorial back in 1926, when you could cover this amount from the council coffers, still leaving you with 15 million to support the big ideas for the domain. And you also have the nerve to expect us to pay to use it when everything will go towards the target, knowing all entertainers, music, army are supporting for nothing but giving of themselves. And thank you very much. And I hope that even this, I have not offended anyone.
Thank you, Angela, and thank you also to Yvonne and Colleen that have come and support with the date too. I should acknowledge. I guess we'll
And you need to digest them.
Yep.
Perhaps have it for your morning tea.
and we'll come back to you. No, we'll come back to you.
Yes, it's important that June comes back and has the result. But thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in, Angela. I hope you're back. I presume it's your back you've hurt.
There's everything.
Oh, that's no good. Oh, I hope it improves very soon and you can have a quick recovery. Thank you for coming in.
So that's a pleasure and necessity. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to Yvonne and your subject that you're going to speak on this morning, and you want to go up to the lectern.
Sharon, can you talk? Sorry, let's go to the mic off.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Morena, councillors, present area, CEO and the general public. My mountain is Te Arawa, my respects to Makina and Marina Hau descendants. My awa is Waihau. My iwi of 183 years in New Zealand is Night. My birthplace, Te Arawa Hospital, Hapai, formerly Kaipoi Road, Elstow. Whānau, 109 years. My father is James, my mother is Evelyn, my name is Yvonne. Educated in Te Arawa, Waikato, Hauraki, Wairua, Wharepoa, Kauranui, Erawa, New Zealand, Thames and Perth. Mana whenua, accounting, sea and quality assurance. I present some findings of public karamu and hui held on the 2nd of March as advocate. I am requesting on behalf of collaboration by the above for a resolution of memorandum of understanding the public and a regional review. I just hand this information to somebody. This review will include a public performance review of the CEO and council operation breaches via their procedures, bylaws, errors, incompetence and mismanagement of funds. GST registration rates increases previously published at 11.9% and not upholding within the scope of the long-term plans. Projects via pre-election report and spending $500,000 on another plastic bin program to go to a bigger landfill, non-carbon credit, high emissions quarry in another district. Lack of due diligence on companies contracted consulting Matamata-Piako District Council. Domain project money, breaching past New Zealand government legislation, reserve acts and heritage protection. Tourist and Health Act Resorts Control 1908 and the 1892 Te Arawa Recreation and Racecourse Act. Any loss of lands, income or investments via ratepayers' money is to be reimbursed by the local authority individuals from wrongful administration of the Matamata-Piako District shareholdings in Matamata Holdings, Power Shares and Waikato Regional Airport Limited. On reviewing council's procedures, having informed the mayories of my contact and written request to the CEO, I take it that Adrian informed the councillors as stated in council conduct. Also, my advising via website or reception regarding the fire hydrants embedded non-maintenance in roads, water leaks, although actioned in Te Arawa, not in other districts. There has been no liaison with the fire brigade as regulations fire plan requests 6 monthly meetings and a sign off by national headquarters. Request for power lines and trees to be fixed has not been acknowledged and the tree problem in the district is beyond joke. Roading safety, there is no reduced speed signs, passing bays, bridges have not been evaluated since building 1953 and before unsealed roads, bridges and bylaw lighting 3 metre ruling allowing repainting of the Te Arawa Bridge by a previous mayor. 3 waters and a 36,000 population in this district. Is inadequate reporting and consultation, especially with those who cannot read and write. toxins, reservoir, asbestos and contamination reports in organic matter. Earthquake building reports registration with government departments, I dare say, are sitting on desks. Government response plans, COVID response plan is non-existent in this town. Inadequate public safety and the physically challenged people's hospital emergency and council staff. Civil defence and policing. Even though I had contacted the previous mayor who took his direction from the CEO, he doesn't live here. Lockdown and hotel contracts bringing delinquents into town, drugs and gangs causing public harm without public consent or consultation still continues, having had a personal experience with the headhunters gang in this town, where I was punched in the face. No mandate was signed per region by ratepayers posted as a public advertised declaration to allow continuation or cited contracts. Inaccurate calculations on balls, pan tax, water levies and community-run organisations, schools and rebates. No rates, rebate, income loss for flood relief from council negligence or prior easements or existing lands within Tara historically connecting to another relief scheme under performance consultation with Waikato Regional Council. No consents for cellular towers or public health concerns regarding the AOTF security of the old phone exchange and government shareholding recordia regarding the TV masts, informing the public of security or lack of causes cyber attacks on banks and third-party information. No town planner, although independent projects contract could have been procured, no town planner CEO cannot sign off or ignore subdivisions, sewage connections, rezoning, water connections, power cables, flood drains, and environmental effects via the RMA. Which leads me in summary to remind you all on behalf of ratepayers of Matamata-Piako District Council, the standing orders to exclude the immediate public from meetings can be requested by the Official Information Act. Conflicts of interest, past and present, including electoral documents. The above research can be forwarded to the local minister for quasi-judicial proceedings with Audit New Zealand result in commissioners replacing you. We have much to discuss via council misinformation. Displayed as a visual aid are the heritage rights of Te Arawa and the district initiative to engage the public leads to a better outcome. Thank you for your participation today, Kia ora, and I hope the future will be a brighter.
Thank you. Have you got a copy of, is that all in that folder, what you've just said? So that we can address in that to respond. You've listed a whole lot of things there. I think if we have a copy of that, please.
Of this one?
Yes, please. Thank you. No, thank you for that. Right. We'll get some actions later. Right, we'll now move on to item 7.1, Pride Place Project Direction Information. Thank you. Do you want to turn the microphone off at the lecture, please? Can we just turn? No. Oh, okay. Actually, can we just turn off? Can we just adjourn for a moment? Yeah, can I just please adjourn? We're live streaming at the moment. I'd just like to adjourn and just give us some time to reflect.
Maria, good morning, everyone. I will take this report as read. This is a follow-up to the workshop that we held on the 28th of June, where we sought some council direction around progressing the project. So the I to answer any questions in relation to that.
So who wants to lead off? Any questions, any comments, any support, recommendation? What are you all, what's spinning around in the minds of yours?
I wasn't here, unfortunately.
Questions, or are you happy to go to a recommendation?
What was the? Do you feel?
Well, that's what I want to gauge.
Yeah, there was the one that was working with the community, whatever that recommendation was. That was from our discussion, and I thought it pretty much nailed what we had in that discussion. So I'm happy to read that one.
Yes. So we have a mover and Dane, the second Russell, that we confirm the following approach being option 4 by A, by the community, for the community action list, B, pop size infrastructure actions list, and C, pop comments to already programmed projects action list. With that, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. And against? Yeah. Thank you.
Passive. As predicted. I think.
And we'll now move on to item 7.2, community group leases and licenses policy. Good morning, Chair, and good morning, Mark. Are you going, Adrian?
No.
Good morning, Mayor and councillors. So we have the draft community group leases and licenses policy today. We have discussed this one in workshop, and as you're aware, have been trialling for a while. So we take the report as read, and our recommendation is that it's received and that council adopts the community lease and license policy as per attachment A. If there's any questions or concerns.
Anyone got any questions? Well, I think it's probably helpful that it provides more consistency. I think that's ultimately the outcome we're trying to achieve, and make it a bit easier for staff and community groups. So any feedback? Do I have a move by Sue, seconded by Dane? Okay, that report be received, and that we adopt the community lease and license policy, which is an attachment A. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried.
Thank you.
Easy, thank you.
That was painful again.
It was. We're all stunned.
The batteries probably just coming down.
We've been stunned. Oh, yeah.
Cheers.
Whoops, it.
Okay, we should have the Barry, hopefully, when we're running ahead of schedule.
Here is.
Here he is.
I'll approve it.
Oh,
Yeah, you're on, Barry. Good morning. So this is item 7.3, the naming of private access way, Vicarage Lane of Memorial Rise in Morrinsville. Sure you'll all be familiar with that at the top of the Valley Park. Morning, Barry.
Morning. Hoping I get a chance to sit down. This one should be fairly straightforward,
Yes.
but happy to answer any questions. It's basically an old vicarage. That's
I see Mr. Gribble has researched it, so I'm happy to move that everything will be correct.
Yeah, great piece of history, isn't it? I think that's the interesting part of it, and it attaches a little bit of history to that space. So Sue is moving it. Kevin is seconding it. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you, Barry.
thank you.
We passed them again.
Not everybody went.
We're on a roll this morning, Dennis. So item 7.4, local recovery manager endorsement. This is led by Dennis. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think the report speaks for itself. We've been working through the process with Ellie to become a recovery manager. She's done extremely well in the course that she's done, and it's gone through the joint committee, which Russell, you would have heard that at the time. The joint committee has approved the application for the council to endorse Ellie as a local recovery manager for Matamata-Piako District Council.
So just for clarification, have we not had one before?
Yeah, me.
Yes, you. That's why I thought it was definitely Dennis. And so you're passing the baton on to Ellen.
Well, yeah, but I'm still sort of there to assist, and
Yes.
but I'm just sort of trying to set up a bit of stuff along the way.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Thank you, mate.
Okay, so Kevin moves it. A seconder. Thank you, Russell. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
No, it's great. I think Ellie has, learned a lot with going down to Napier and that as well, didn't
Oh,
she?
yeah, she's done a bit of that.
She's got it down
She'll
there.
do more, and she has the right. The planning background is a very good background for recovery. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Because she was, just to remind people that during, Gabrielle, Ellie did go down to Napier and work down there. So it builds, we do that within councils, share resources, but also it's a good learning experience as well. So it's
And
cool.
Madam Chair, I would also say, seeing as you're running ahead so quickly, that we have been reassessed as for our civil defence. And first exercise that we did, we were sitting at about 48%.
Yes.
We've now moved to 64%, I think it is. So done really well. So Kelly should be, Kelly Reith is response manager. She's done very well and pushed it forward. So
Perfect.
moving forward.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right, thank you. Okay, well, now I'd like, if someone could please move us into public excluded, please. James,
Yep.
seconded